Hi, everyone, and welcome to another wonderful week in January. And I say wonderful because everybody is just excited and happy in January. It's a new year, it's a new possibilities. Plus, Mondays are usually just like your chance to start over and get it right, especially if you are like me and you maybe didn't do anything last week that you were supposed to do. So let's talk about that today. And if you didn't notice, it is a new time. So I'm doing these now at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time instead of noon. One, because I run every morning at 6 a.m., especially on Mondays, it's always 6 a.m. So there's just like all that dead time until we walk. And Molly and I used to walk at 11 on Mondays, and now we switched it over to noon. She's trying to time it with like the baby's sleep schedule. So that is our new walking time, is when we usually do our plan with me. So I've switched this over to 9 a.m. and also it helps you to get a jump start on the day. I know you're like, this is all about you, Lisa. Like, did you even think about us? Anyways, who is here? Let's see, cancel. Shelly. Hi, Tasha, Lisa, and everyone. Happy Monday. See, everyone's excited about Mondays. Hi, Tasha. Karen, love how we all meet up in chat. That is very cute. Hey, Jessie. Jessie, you should join Planner Pixies. I think you would love it. And then you could talk with everyone outside of Mondays, because we chat all the time in, what are we on? We're on Heartbeat. All right. Let's see. Everyone's just saying hi. All right. So let me share with you today's slides. And remember, if you are new here, it is, I put out a workbook. I shouldn't say I put out a workbook for December and January for 2 months now. I put out a workbook for the month. So it helps you, helps you to breathe. It helps you to just kind of plan out your week. So we do the same format. So if you've never heard of a Scrum format, it's a basic plan for how we do a weekly plan. So whenever you're in a big project team, you'll talk about what you did last week. You'll report on what your plans are for this week and where you think you need help. So that's kind of the format for every single one of these Monday Plan With Me's. And I just want to remind everyone, we're in the third week of January. I know, it feels like, or the fourth week. This is the fourth Monday. It like went by so fast. It kind of feels like the third week. It's very confusing. So just so you know, Martin Luther King holiday is always the third Monday of the month. So that means that we are now in the fourth Monday of the month. And this is like the last full week. Like next week, there's still some January days, but it's pretty much over. So like whatever you want to accomplish for this month, this is it. Like this is your last chance. And then I would use those extra few days next week as kind of like buffer days to be like, okay, if I can't get it all done this week, maybe I have a few extra days next week to kind of finish that out. So that's what's happening this time. And I thought I was going to do, again, it's looking like a hard no. It might be next month. We thought we would do Canva next Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Anything could happen between now and then. But I will definitely be back here next Monday for another Plan With Me. I will set up a little thumbnail and a schedule, and I'll add that to events and to this YouTube channel. So if you are not familiar with the Lisa method, clearly I just really wanted to use my name, but it's just kind of how after many, many years, how I have goal setting. So the L is for list out everything. I is identify one thing per month. The S is schedule it into your week or add it as a habit. And A is just try to inspire yourself and axe anything that is not included. And then also, I really like the acronym SPEEDY Goals, which stands for a strategy. So for us, it's the doable dozen. For you, it might be something else. And then just one habit per year. I mean, I think if you really want something to stick, I would just focus on one thing. P is plan out your entire life. So there is the plan, the 24, is it 24 hours? It's the full week, the best week ever challenge that we had last year. I would definitely do that. You go through every single minute of your day to see what you're actually doing. And then E is for execution skills. And then we have a second E, which is for exemplify, or for ensure. What am I doing? Hold on, I'm trying to move the screen. It's not moving for me. All right. And then we have the clean desk policy. So I really like the clean desk policy because I do believe it will increase your productivity tenfold. So on Saturday, I actually didn't do any work. So if you've been following me on Instagram, I've been posting like my 1 day, like 8-hour work day. Sometimes I work 6 hours, some days I work 9. But I've been tracking like what I do each day. And on Saturday, I really did nothing because all I did was rearrange my bedroom, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it just felt really inefficient. And when I first moved here, I wanted the bed a certain way, but then someone was like, no, you should really set it up this way. And like, I kind of like was like, no, I really don't want that. Anyways, my whole point is I was very surprised. I moved all the furniture by myself. I thought I would like have to call for help or hire one of those TaskRabbit like managers, but it's a king size bed. But I just inched it over, just tiny little bits, one at a time, like inch here, inch there, inch there. Anyways, it took me the whole day. It's probably a good workout. And I have rearranged my upstairs bedroom to be more just copacetic, or I don't want to say feng shui, but there's like more open space. I threw more stuff away, and I'm really excited about it. I know that sounds crazy, but I am very excited about sleep now, and I'm very excited about my space. So it makes it like a happy place. So that's my whole point with the clean desk policy. If you're not happy with your space, because that's probably where you spend most of your time, I would just revamp things, move stuff around, like throw some things away. Anyways, think of deliverables and then think of any sort of rewards that you want to give yourself. So there's an extra workbook. It is the Speedy Goals workbook. You can download that for free too, and that goes through the Lisa method and the Speedy Goals method. What is your one? So hopefully this time, because we're doing these every week, like what is your one January goal? So mine was website migration. And if you can't remember your January goal, it's probably one of those things where like, did you really want to work on it? Maybe you should change your focus. It's not too late to change it to something else and maybe move your January goal over to February. I've been really resistant to do that, even though I probably should. But podcast activity. So here's what I did last week. So if you want to recap now what you did, what I did was basically I did one video, which I know doesn't sound like a lot. It was like, it's work to like send the questions out ahead of time, do some research on the people you're interviewing, and then also like read a little bit of the book so you know what you're talking about. We did do an audiobook giveaway that was on Viper. Julie won. She did write me back. And then Karen won the ebook giveaway for The Forest Sleuth and a Barnstormer. So that was last week. So all the podcasts are still all set for January. I'm going to worry about February because it was so easy to schedule the February podcast. I'm going to worry about February podcasts for future Lisa. So that's what I always say, like problems could be solved later. I'm like, that's future Lisa's problems. So I'll worry about that when February hits. So I did buy stuff this month. I know. I'm like talking about saving money. Anyways, I didn't spend a lot. I bought Metricool. And I've been hearing about this forever. So I wanted to post an Instagram story the other day, and I wanted to schedule it. And so I looked at Storito, which is what I used to use for that, and I just haven't for a while, and that's $25 a month. And I was like, well, I mean, surely it's been a year. Maybe something else came out. And I did some more research. Metricool actually is cheaper. It's $18 a month, and it does have scheduling for Instagram stories. So the difference is when you use like Planoly, whatever you call it, any of those other things later, it will schedule things to Instagram stories for you, kind of, sort of. It's so like, it's literally the lamest feature ever. Then you get a prompt on your phone that you have to go in and manually upload it to Instagram stories. So I'm like, that was just a waste of time. Like I could have just emailed myself the Instagram story and scheduled it to pop up in my inbox at a certain time. Like this is so useless. So it does, like, I don't know why, it's a pet peeve of mine. Like I feel like they're lying to people, especially people who aren't as familiar with social media. If they had purchased Planoly or later any of those tools thinking that it will do Instagram story posting, and it doesn't. Anyways, Metricool actually really does do that. So you can just schedule it. You don't have to worry. It'll auto post it for you. I don't know why some do that and some don't. But anyways, if you do, I found this discount code SME23. So it'll give you 45 days free, which means like from now until 45 days, you could change your mind, cancel it, and then you'll never be charged at all for Metricool if you're like thinking about it and want to try it out. But that's really the only reason that I did that, because I was complaining last week. I know you're like, which complaint, Lisa? You're complaining all the time. But I was complaining about how podcast scheduling was so easy. And doing the actual live stream, I actually enjoy. So I don't even really consider that work. However, when it came time to actually market the podcast, it was exhausting. It like took up so much energy and so much time, the pre-work, the post-work, sharing it, right? And so you want your guests to feel good about like being on your podcast, and so that I guess that it was worth their time. So I felt obligated to do that marketing. So that's why I invested in Metricool, because I felt like this would help. I looked at Canva Pro and Adobe Express are free. Well, I shouldn't say they're free. I pay for Canva Pro anyway, so it has a free scheduling tool inside of there. Adobe Express also, because it's part of Creative Cloud, and it has the scheduling for free. So I checked those out, but again, they didn't have as many features and it was kind of limiting. So I just went with Metricool. It was totally worth the $18 per month. Now, something else I also bought for social media is Opus Clip. Opus Clip, if you haven't heard of it, so it's kind of confusing because everyone's like, oh, this is the coolest AI tool or whatever. Like, it's just a video clipper. And sure, you can call it AI. I feel like now every time somebody comes out with something that's even slightly technical or software online based, they're like, it's AI. And so anyways, you just put a video URL in there of anything. So I put like the YouTube videos. I just did this like literally last night. It will go ahead and make new clips for you. So it will make clips. You can make them 30 to 60 seconds, 60 to 90, 2 minutes, whatever you want. So I did all 60-minute clips. So I could load some clips onto YouTube, and also I can post to TikTok. I've never been on TikTok. I always complain about how much I dislike it, but a lot of people like it. It's kind of like my complaints about podcasts, right? Like I've talked forever about how much I hate them, but a lot of people like them. So this is an easy way for me, who does not like TikTok, to be on TikTok without I don't even have to go on the platform, right? Because I bought Metricool. So Metricool, I can take all these clips, I don't have to make any new content, and I can just post them up with Metricool, and now I'm a TikToker. So this is my solution to the complaining that I keep doing about the video podcast taking up so much time. So this is how I'm planning to market the podcast in the future. Also, oh wait, there's some questions. Hello, Starry Night. Jesse, I would join, but I need to learn more about planning purposes. I have heavy research before I join things. Yeah, sounds like a great idea. Tiger Blue Eyes. Hey, I made a live stream. Okay. Awesome. How are you holding up in this weather? This is the best weather ever. So I'm in San Diego. It is raining right now. And if you know me, I love rain. Like, I literally wish that the weather year round was not as wintry or not as humid in Seattle and London, because those are like my dream places for weather because of the rain. I just love rainy days. I don't know why people get sad by them. They're like, I don't know. It's like a miracle. There's water falling from the sky. How is that not amazing? Anyways, I am super excited about the rain. It's my favorite. Okay, so weekend writing. So I did so much writing. I did nothing else. Like, my plan for this week, when we talked this time last week, was to work on Squarespace. Confession, I did not. So I did writing. I won't go that into writing because I know this isn't really a writing forum, but it really helped me. Like, I feel like I had a massive breakthrough because every time I go to write, I think I need to be perfect. But this time, this whole week, like, literally I got 0 words written, really, and I didn't make any progress. I know that sounds like counterintuitive, but I like forced myself literally to sit for 6 hours and just think about the writing, which I know sounds crazy, but I like had a breakthrough. Like, all of a sudden I basically tried all of these different methods out, because what happens when you aren't doing the thing that you're supposed to do, you're buying stuff, right? So I'm buying these writing courses. I'm bookmarking these blog posts. I'm bookmarking or saving videos for later that I think I should watch because I think they'll be helpful for writing. And I bought all these courses. So I'm finally going through those all this week, and I'm trying different things out. And what I've realized is I am like, what's the right word to say? I am like a know-it-all. That's why I think I like teaching. I always feel like whatever way I have or whatever you can do, I can do better. It's just kind of like my personality. So even though I'm taking all of these like writing courses and reading all these things, I don't like them. And so I think it's good, one, to try out new methods because you don't know everything, right? And something could work out really well. But more importantly, I intuitively just know what I'm doing. I know it sounds very snobby, but like I just felt so confused trying to follow somebody else's outline, somebody else's direction. Like, so with mysteries, there's a lot of different cozy mystery outlines out there. And all of them are really great. Like none of them, I don't think they're bad. They, for whatever reason, just don't intuitively work for me. So if you're not really sure how to write a cozy mystery, it will tell you, hey, you should put the suspect here. Okay, now you should escalate it and put the character, the main protagonist, in danger, right? But I already know how I want my story to flow and what should happen and logically what should go. And I think a lot of times for me, what I struggle with is trying to follow somebody else's outline because I think like they're better or they're smarter, when really intuitively, because obviously I watch way too much TV. I know, like when you watch something, you're like, that just didn't make sense. Like, why would they do that, right? So like, even an example is Reacher. So I just finished the 8 episodes of Reacher, and I don't think this might be a spoiler, but one of the guys that they're hunting down, his dog in his apartment he dies, right? Because obviously he's killed. There's no one there to feed the dog, nowhere there to give the dog water. But this guy has a girlfriend. Like, you know, they're really involved. She like knows all about him. She's so worried about him. But yet this woman never once went over to his house when she hadn't heard from him to check on the dog, like to the point where the dog dies. So like in my mind, I was like, this doesn't make any sense, right? So like, sometimes I feel if you're following a plot too carefully, you miss out on those common sense things where you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense. And so you're saying this woman has all this inside knowledge and they were so close, but yet you can't be bothered to worry about this dog. Like, I don't know. It's possible too. Like, I just worry about animals too much, even fictional ones in movies and TV shows or books. So anyways, my whole point is I feel like 100,000% better after like wasting time. I shouldn't say wasting, spending time being uncomfortable. So if there's something that you've been wanting to do and maybe you're just not sure how to do it, sometimes just being uncomfortable, even if you made 0 progress for the week, is progress. So just something to think about. Anyways, so my January goal that did help me refocus. So this is the same slide you saw last time. The shiny object syndrome this week was writing. Last week it was podcasts. So my solution now is instead of sticking to Squarespace production, I'm going to stick to Squarespace tutorials because I think it's kind of like the writing. I bought a lot of courses. Have I really gone through them all? Fluid Engine came out since I purchased the courses. And so then there's now new tutorials. So I'm going to just be uncomfortable with Squarespace for the week. And hopefully I'll have a breakthrough at the end of the week for that too. So that's basically what happened this last 7 days since I talked to you last time on Monday. So if you are wondering however your January goal is going, like, did anyone finish their January goal already? And you're like already thinking of a second goal? I don't know if you are, but you might want to ask, like, I know I was not committed at all to this. I clearly was like, I remember waking up on yesterday and I was like, okay, well, it's Sunday and tomorrow's Monday. I'm going to have to report out on what I did. And I said I was going to do Squarespace. And I was like, but you know what? I really just want to write instead. Like, that is all I want to do for the whole day. And that's what I did instead of actually doing Squarespace. And I also, everyone's different. I get a lot of momentum from just focusing on one thing at a time versus like switch hitting all the time each day or week or month or whatever. So for me, just to stick with the plan that I was going on was a much better use of my time. So, and also I clearly was not committed at all last week to Squarespace. So, I mean, if I was being more logical, I should probably really just change my goal. But I am very resistant to changing it. So I just know for this week, what I need to do is just watch more tutorials and take more notes, just like last week. And also you need to think about what your week looks like. I do have a little bit of a crazy week. I have a lot of things going on. So that's why I'm saying watching some tutorials is probably the best that I can do this week versus making a lot of progress. We'll see where we are next week again. And if you're just looking for a place to, and I did think of things, so I did add more things to ClickUp. And remember, that's just like my huge to-do list. That's where I keep everything. And then Llama Life, I have that like literally just each morning I pull that up and then just put my to-do list for that day. So this week's priorities, this is basically the same as last week. The only thing that's different is Molly and I are doing a sneak peek next Monday of the Cozy Club Getaway. So remember, she was on vacation last week, and I think because it's a partnership and we're 50-50, I always feel like, well, we should be doing equal work. So if she's on vacation, I don't want to do extra work. I know, being a baby, but like, I was like, I'll just wait till she gets back and then we'll just do stuff. We'll figure out what to do together. So we basically came up with a plan for things that we wanted to give a sneak peek of for next Monday. And we are each responsible for our own slides. So I just have to get my slides together before next Monday, and I have done nothing. So that is also another thing as well. So it is not possible for me to have any stretch goals this week. I already know that. There's so many other deadlines and things going on. But you could have stretch goals if you feel like your week is like pretty open and fluid. So what do you need to do next? So open up your workbook, recap what you did for last week, revisit your 1 January goal, maybe think about switching it. I mean, like the most logical thing for me should really be swapping my goal out to writing instead of saying I'm going to make Squarespace happen. But you know me, I just really like having the pressure of both for some reason. And then determine what tools you need. I just need to take more Squarespace courses. I already went through all of my writing courses, so I'm good now. Also for tools, for writing, I was like, I keep going back and forth. I had Google Sheets, Google Docs, and then I switched over back to Scrivener. But now that I've used Scrivener for this, it's been like a month now, I think I might go back to Google Docs. I know, I just keep going back and forth. It's because I was here at this computer and I was wanting to work on my laptop, and then I was wanting to work on the computer because I liked having the bigger screen to like move things around. And then I just thought, well, you know what? It makes more sense to just have Google Docs because it does sync documents. That's always been my biggest thing. So if you're thinking of using Scrivener or Ulysses or Atticus or any of those like writing software, online platform-based tools, they'll say, don't worry, it syncs between devices. That is 100% not true. The only thing that syncs between devices and accurately is Google Docs. And when you're writing a manuscript, it's really important that you have version control. Otherwise, if you've deleted a paragraph here, added this new character over there, and it's different on every computer that you open, you don't even know what's going on and what the correct version is. So that's why I don't trust any of those other tools at all except for Google Docs. And then with Scrivener, I was thinking I would just only use it on my laptop so it's one single file. But also, I forgot about this too. So Scrivener is old. You have to hit File Save every time you're done with it. Sure, it has like an auto save like Microsoft Word, but I remember I was tired the other night and I just closed the computer, shut it off for the night, and then the next day I had lost like a few things that I had written because I forgot to hit save, and it didn't auto save when I shut the computer off. So yeah, I've gotten so used to, you know, if you grew up like me in Gen X in the 90s, you had to hit save on everything, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and then along came Google. And then online-based tools, and you don't have to hit save. It just automatically saves your work for you in the cloud. And because of that, I think I've gotten in the habit of not hitting save. So I definitely am not going to be able to revert back almost to Scrivener. So I do like it. It has some good things in it, but I might just go ahead and stick with Google Docs. So that was a long way for me to say that I'm just not sure what tool I'll be using. So, Jesse, I was further away from completing my goals for January. I was sick this entire month. And still have an ear infection. Sorry to hear that. So in February, I'm hoping to accomplish my goals. Yeah, don't worry. Like, I was sick. I don't know if anyone remembers, with the flu for pretty much the whole month of December. It was only like until the 31st that I felt better. So yeah, the more stuff you try to do, the longer your cold will go on for. So, all right, that's a wrap. And remember, I have turned this plan with me into a podcast. So if you would like to just listen to these on your phone or on the go, you can do that as well. We are now on, and I'll send out an email with all the links. We're on Spotify, we are on iHeartRadio, and we're on Apple Podcasts. So I think those are the major ones. There were some other links in there for like public radio broadcasts or things that I hadn't heard of. So Castbox or something. So I just said, forget it. So we're just on those 3 major ones. I'll send the link to that so you can like subscribe. And yeah, so I think we should be all set. And there will be visitors on this podcast too, but because the other podcast was taking up so much time with marketing for the ones that had guests, I didn't want to add guests to this one. That's a problem, as I said, for future Lisa. All right, I hope everyone's having a fabulous and wonderful start to their week, and I will see all of you this time next week. All right, bye.